Cochran. I am a CIT coordinator for 25 years. I've retired now, and I'm working with the University of Memphis CIT Center. And my life and my passion, at least for the last 25 years, has been all about CIT. And many times I go and make presentations and I say something to the effect that CIT is not a law enforcement program. And many times people, especially the law enforcement officers that are in attendance, they're a little shocked by that, because actually if you look closely at CIT is a first responder model with regards to law enforcement responding to crisis issues relating to mental illness. And so oftentimes people perceive it as a law enforcement program. Oh, it is, but then again it's not. And the part that I'm trying to express to you tonight is that really CIT is a community program. Law enforcement is just a very strong component of that, as well as the mental health local community professionals. They too are part of the partnership. And then the third strong partnership of this is advocacy. Advocacy is the engine and the heartbeat of many of the efforts to keep CIT going and to make sure that CIT lives up for the full potential that it was designed to do. A lot of times we make the comments, those of us that are passionately associated to CIT, with a phrase that says, CIT, it's more than just training. Oftentimes people say, well, yeah, it's more than training, but sometimes they lose the concept of the word more. What is the more? Well, let me just take a few moments to discuss the more of CIT. The more of CIT, well, everybody understands the 40 hours of training and the importance of that training, but a lot of times our officers are taking that training and they're developing a passion, a personal passion, and they are introducing that personal passion towards service to a special population. A special population that is deserving of special care and special attention. And that special population are the many men and women who struggle and cope with mental illness. And so the more, from an example I can give you, is that we had an officer that one time when they were looking, when supervisors were looking to nominate a person for CIT Officer of the Year. And supervisors were looking to see what some of the CIT officers were doing. And the supervisor asked some of the other CIT officers. And the officers told him about a story of one of the CIT officers, that the CIT officer knew of a husband and wife that were drawing Social Security. They were living off of Social Security. And at the end of the month, he always knew that their Social Security check had been depleted. And so he would go by always and buy a few extra groceries and bring to the husband and wife to be able to hold them off until their Social Security came at the first of the month. Now that's the more of CIT. See, we don't teach going by people's housings and delivering food. It's a worthy talk, a subject that should be taught maybe, but we don't do that in the 40 hours. We're concentrated on many other things relating to the specific training of being an excellent CIT officer. But that was something unique. Another more story that I might give you is one of our officers that CIT officers were assisting new officers in verbal de-escalation role playing. And we asked the different role players that were senior CIT officers to make comments to the new CIT officers. And this one young lady that was one of our CIT officers, very passionate with regards to her service, she was addressing the new CIT officers. And her comments was something like this: you know, my CIT officers like it when I go by and visit them, just to see how they're doing. Sometimes when I'm not on a call and I have a little extra time, I'll drop by one of the care homes or I'll drop by one of the consumers' houses just to check on them to see how they're doing. And she went on to talk further about her role as a CIT officer. Well, at the end of her presentation, at the end of class, I walked up to her and I said, Stacy, do you know what you just said? And of course, Stacy, being a patrol officer, thought that a supervisor was fixing to correct her. And she was trying to think, well, what did I say? What did I say? And I don't know that you caught the words of what Stacy said to the new CIT officer. She said, my consumers like it when I go by and visit them. Where did Stacy get the idea that they're her consumers? You see, Stacy had a personal commitment, not only to be a CIT officer, but she had a personal commitment to special people. And she wanted to spend a little extra time just to drop by to say, hello, how are you doing? I'm here for you anytime. And that's the more of CIT. We don't teach that in the 40 hours of training. Officers initiate on their own that kind of special care, that kind of special love. That's the difference between CIT. So when we say CIT is more than just training, you will know what more means. Thank you very much.